Hello everyone and welcome to Drivenmad. Now you join me with my Abarth 595 here, as you can see, and it's been around a year since I've had this car, and I thought it would be appropriate to do a 1 year update of things I'd like, dislike and just general things about the car which you may not know. So what we'll do is come in a bit closer and I will walk you around the car and discuss the things I love and dislike about this car. Okay, now starting at the front of the car, you can see this isn't your ordinary 500. Now of course the Abarth is a zooped up version of the generic Fiat 500, but mine is even more different. Now a few videos back I installed these carbon daytime running light headlights, so you can see they've got the angry demon eyes in those, which I will insert some little snippets of, and I think this really just makes it look a little bit more angry. Me and my friends, we call it the rocket egg because it's shaped slightly like an egg, but it's ridiculously fast for its size and it just shouldn't move like it does. So with these eyes on and everything, and it's all slightly blacked out, it just looks really quite angry for such a small car. I've also gone for slightly smoked front daytime running lights. These are what you'd normally get, just these, but I've now wired in some nice demon eyes as well to add to the angry look. Now you can see that it's got all the aggressive little splitters and sort of all the vents here, which really stand off from the normal 500. Now there's a website called Abarth Tuning, or TMC Motorsport, who specialise in Italian cars, and there are so many parts that I have seen on that website, and if you're like me, you just can't help but buy things, and my bank account really is going down by owning this car because there are so many things you can buy for it. Something just really simple like the trim covers blacked out. I mean, just little bits like that you just want to buy, you know, and I've bought them and it makes a massive difference to the look of the car, but that's just another little upgrade that you just wouldn't normally think of doing that I love. Now of course, on a generic 500 you'd get 15-inch alloys as standard. Abarth 17s. Now these are the 17-inch. These are, I think they're diamond cut, I would say. They're a nice aluminium finish and they're gunmetal grey inside. Now I did think about doing these black, but I think they're such a beautiful wheel, they just needed to be kept like they are, and I've obviously got them wrapped in Pirelli P0 tyres. So these are fantastic tyres, done another video on those if you want to check that out. Also, smoked indicator. That sounded really bad, didn't it? Did you hear that? That sounds really naff, doesn't it? But we've got the smoked dynamic indicator. These actually sort of pulse when you indicate, which is a nice little touch. And round the back is where the Fiat Abarth really stands out for me. This is where it gets serious. You can see I've opted for the Koschi carbon fibre diffuser, and I've also put an Alta sports exhaust on the back here, and I've also gone for the facelift lights. Now like I say, there are so many things you can buy for this car, so I found these lights. A man on Facebook customizes and sells the lights. I got the headlights from, and I got the rear lights from, and you can see they just make the back look really aggressive, and all sort of, I do like that blacked out shadow look. Now I am a youngster, so a lot of older people may have passed that era. I haven't. I still like the blacked out look, so I opted for the smoked. Now blackout trims all around, black around the badge, black on the boot cover here, and of course the Koschi carbon fibre diffuser, and it's a bit more aggressive. You can see it's got these little canyards down here which just really separate it from the standard look. And of course the interior. Now this is where there are also some massive upgrades on the regular 500. Like I said in my first ever video on the Abarth, we did have a generic 500 pop, which was a 1.2 petrol with 69 horsepower, so that's nearly 100 down on this. And the interior has changed a lot. So this is the pre-facelift model of the Abarth, so it didn't come with Apple CarPlay, anything like that. Now, which you may have seen, I've installed Apple CarPlay. I think that's a must on the older models. For me, the Apple CarPlay just makes everything so much easier. Navigation, music, it's just so much more simple to use than having to have your phone on a holder and try and use the Bluetooth connections and things. It's just not great, and this car didn't even have Bluetooth. So I didn't really know how it worked, but you could only use Bluetooth for phone calls, not audio. So I couldn't play music, I could just make phone calls, which is a bit weird. But anyway, I've changed it to Apple CarPlay. As you can see, this screen looks really good, and it's been flawless for usage. It never crashes, never does anything. Fantastic. That's a joying screen. If you're interested in that, check out the installation video I did on that. Now my car is an automatic, and the automatic, people slate this gearbox. I mean, people really say this is rubbish. And yeah, I mean, if you're thinking of buying a car to cruise around, smooth gear changes, you're not going to buy an Abarth anyway, are you? Who's going to buy an Abarth? Now, for me as a daily driver, automatic is a bit of a must. I do like manuals, and I think this car in a manual would be absolutely fantastic, but as a daily driver I do really like the auto. Now off the line it's a bit sluggish because you've got to wait for the clutch to engage, but after that, other than some of the gear changes it chooses in automatic are not the greatest choice, in manual mode, God, it's a right hoot. I mean, it snaps through the gears pretty well, and it's just more fun than anything else. It's a really fun gearbox, and in a car like this it just makes it 10 times better. And I've changed the steering wheel as well, so it looks nice and new. I've opted for that because the one it came with was old and worn. So other than that, I've really just OEM plus. I've tried to restore the car back to how it should look. Everything in here is lovely. The seats were in immaculate condition when I got it, and I've kept them that way because I'm a little bit fussy. And of course I forgot to mention that they are bucket seats. They're much more bolstering. These aren't the Competizione seats. The Competizione's got proper bucket seats, and as a daily driver I'm not sure I could have done those. And I've also installed cruise control since this is a daily driver and I do a lot of motorway miles, which is another video. So if you want to check out all the videos on this car, there will be a playlist linked down and you can have a little look at that. Because there are so many things you can do to it. Like I say, it's just something like an armrest. I forgot to mention that. There's so many things I've done and I keep forgetting to mention. It's quite funny. Now, the armrest, yeah, again, so I keep thinking I'm going to finish the segment of the interior, but I'm not because there's more things I've done. Armrest is the first modification I would do to an Abarth. It falls into your hand perfectly. The armster is class. Okay, so let's get on to the main part of this video, which is what's it been like owning this car for a year. And as you can probably guess, there's not many things I don't like about it. In fact, I was going to say, I said earlier, I'll tell you the things I like and dislike, and I haven't said anything I dislike yet, because there's not really anything I dislike about this car. I mean, I think it looks fantastic. It drives so fun. I mean, it drives so well and so fun, if that's even a phrase. It drives so fun. It's just class. I love it. And it's really nippy, sounds unbelievable for a 4-cylinder. I've got to say, I think it's the best sounding 4-cylinder you can buy. Golf R's, things like that, they sound like wet farts. This sounds way bigger than a 1.4 4-cylinder. I mean, it sounds way bigger. And just absolutely love it. Now, after a year of ownership, I have done a massive 40,000, well, just under 40,000 kilometres in this in the last year, and reliability wise it's been flawless. I change the oil every 7,500 kilometres, and I recently did a road trip to the south of France through to Italy, and I did just over 6,000 kilometres on that trip. And I did the day to France just under 900 kilometres per day straight. So that was 1,800 kilometres and it didn't miss a beat. I mean, it just cruised there flawlessly. Now, the exhaust I've changed makes a little bit of a drone, but for me it's worth it because I love the sound. And the suspension on a long drive is not exactly an S-Class, it's quite bouncy. But what do you expect for a little performance hot hatch? In fact, it's hardly a hot hatch, it's a performance city car, isn't it? It's tiny. And I just can't really fault this car at all. Now, this car's done 150,000 kilometres, so for a little engine like this and like I say, a little performance car, that's a lot of kilometres. And like I say, it just hasn't had any issues. I put it into the garage and got them to change the air conditioning because it wasn't going. There was no medium. It was either hot or cold air. So I had that fixed, and just general maintenance, servicing and things like that. It's going in for a service, funnily enough, next week, and I believe that's when the belts are going to be changed, but that's just a regular, every certain amount of kilometres you have to change the belts, so that's going to get done. And other than oils, it's not missed a beat at all, so it's been a fantastic car to own. And if you want the Fiat 500, I would highly recommend one. And if you plan on doing a lot of motorway driving, maybe the convertible's not the option, because I do think that makes a little bit more noise for wind, but it's really not noticeable for me because I change my speakers and I've always got my music really loud, or I've got the roof down completely listening to the exhaust, so it's not a big deal for me. But really, if you want an Abarth or you're considering an Abarth, go and test drive one, because I can guarantee you'll want it more. Or the complete opposite. You'll absolutely hate it. Now, a lot of people criticise the driving positions and say that it's, you know, not comfortable and your head's touching the ceiling. Well, I'm 6'2". I do admit my legs are longer than my body. My body's not that long, but you see I've got the chair pumped down so it's as low as it will go, and I've got a fist, in fact I've got two fists there of headroom, so I've got absolutely no issue on that, and I've still got more space to go back if I need to. A retractable steering wheel would be nice, but you know, these things are minor. I can get myself in a pretty good position. Okay, so that sums up my little video on my 1 year ownership of the Abarth. I hope you have enjoyed. I hope you've learned a little something, or if you want a piece of information, please comment down below. And if there's any other things you want me to do to the Abarth, comment down below as well, because I'm sort of stumped on things to do. I do have, hopefully today actually, in the mail, I've been waiting for the Koshi carbon fibre wing mirror caps to come. They've taken ages because Koshi's got a bit of a backup on order. But if there's anything else you want me to do on this car, let me know down in the comments. And in general, any videos on the L200 you want to see, anything like that in particular, any modifications you'd like to see done to an Abarth, let me know and I'll see if I can get that sorted out. But we're struggling for videos at the moment. We've just moved house and we are quite busy at the moment, so videos are tough to come by, but I thought this was a really necessary video to do. Stay tuned, please like, comment and subscribe. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.